All right, this is update number 13 on the 1937 Rat Rod Chop Top Dually. All right, so I've got the tires off, got this whole rear end jacked up on jack stands. We'll start cutting the perches off from the old leaf springs. There's actually 2 sets on here. Don't think this was the right rear end for that chassis, but we're gonna make it work. So I'm working on cutting those out. It's gonna take a while. They use pretty heavy steel, so it's gonna take a little bit to get through them. Once I get the axle cleaned up, then I can start building my airbag mounts and get this thing moving. Airbags were left over from my 64 truck. They were on it when I bought it. I put new ones on. These bags are still great. Gonna use them, and something else we'd have to pay for. Alright, well, I got that extra perch off, cleaned up the axle, both sides. Trying to decide if I want to take the original perches off or not. They're not in my way, and so I'm trying to decide what to do on it. My plasma cutter took and popped the fuses on it, not the breaker, but the fuses in line, and I gotta go to Depot and get some more. Alright, well, I got the one side done. It took over 3 hours to get that perches off on that side. One suggestion, guys, get a torch. With a torch you can blow through it. The welds are too big for my plasma to go through it. I mean, these welds are a good 1/2 inch thick, and my plasma only goes to 3/8. So just save yourself some time. Rent a torch if you ain't gonna buy one. Just rent it, use it. I'm telling you, it's gonna make a world of difference. If I would have known this, I would have left this original perches on the axle. They weren't in my way, but I decided to take them out anyway. And yeah, it would have saved half a day's work if I hadn't have done it. Because I'm using nothing but grinders, the plasma, and freaking a bandsaw, a portable bandsaw to try to cut through this stuff. So just take my advice, get a torch. It would have been so much easier. But anyway, got to get back to this other side. I want to get this done. Well, guys, 6 hours later, I finally got the axle cleaned up. I nicked it in a couple spots, so I went back and welded it, and just to make sure I didn't take any strength away from the axle. So now I guess got a couple hours left that I can work, so I'm going to work on building bag mounts. Let's see hopefully this goes easier. Alright, so I've got my upper bag made. I'm going to go ahead and gusset it for strength because you weld it like this, it's going to break. So I'm going to go ahead and gusset it in. And it looks a little rough, but I'm going to take the bag out, grind it all, make it look good, and go from there. So right now I'm just going to tack this in, get it everywhere I want it, see how it looks, and then we'll take the bag out, grind it out, make it look pretty, put it back together. All right. Alright guys, that's it all welded out. Looks pretty good, I'm happy with it. And next is to build the other side. I know a lot of people are going to ask, why'd you use that pre-made? I already had it. What was the big deal? Might as well. So I could have just drilled the holes and yeah, I just didn't feel like it. So I just cut it, put it in there. Alright. Well guys, it's 10 o'clock. I got to shut down for the night. We'll pick it up tomorrow morning. At least I got one side done today. Do the other one in the morning. Alright guys, I've done a root pass on the Z welds. Remember, we just kind of stitched them earlier while we were building. Now I know I've got everything where I want it. So I've done a root pass where I cut the V, running a root through it. I'm going to grind that root, make sure it's nice and clean, and then I'm going to put a nice wash over it. I've got the welder cranked up on 220 right now, and it's actually set for 1/4 inch plate, which is thicker than what this frame is. I'm going to go ahead and grind it right now, and then we're going to go ahead and put the main weld on it, and then this rear end's actually welded out, so it's ready to go. Alright guys, so the reason I grind it is, one, to make sure I fully penetrate it, and two, to get any impurities out. So when I re-weld this now with this last pass, this thing is going to be strong and there's not going to be any issues with it. Okay, so what I've done is I've got that main weld in there and I've grinded the two sides where I had any undercut. I'm going to put a wash over at one side and then up the other one, so there'll be two welds you see. Alright guys, there you have it. A nice smooth piece of metal. I don't know, you can't even tell where the seam was. It's all cleaned up. That's what you got to do if you want it strong. So a lot of guys just like to throw the pieces together and weld them. It's not going to handle it. It might work for a day, 6 months, a year. Sooner or later it's going to break. But that's what you need to do. All right. Alright, well, I got the frame all set up for ride height. Our shocks are 9 compressed, 19 extended. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and box the top of the frame out. That way I can build a shock mount off of it. So that's what I'm working on now. See if this plasma is going to work. It's been acting up for 3-4 days now. Needs new tips, takes 3 days to get them. So we'll see how the best I can do. If not, it's going to take a long time on a grinder. So, all right, guys, let's see what we can do. Well, I guess I just have to talk shit about the plasma cutter and then it works. So, worked fine. Cut all those plates 1/4 inch. No problem. Who knows? Anyway. Alright guys, so plates are in on either side, but there's this lip on the frame. I think it was from the steering box. So I'm going to cut a couple reliefs in it and bang it down flat. And that should freaking let me make contact with that and I'll weld it out. Alright guys. So you can see how I cut it and then I beat it down flat. So I cut straight, and a slight angle, pie cut, so when it folds down it would go fine. It's all tacked out. I'll weld it up in a little bit. Well guys, it's Sunday afternoon. As usual, it has to be on Sunday. I'm out of welding gas. So that's a stopping point for me this weekend. Time to clean up the garage. Get ready for the week. I'm gonna show you how this thing works though. You know, people ask, how do you know when you're low enough? Well, let me show you. You're low enough when it does this. It lays the ground.